Ladies and gentlemen, it's Brendon O'Connell coming to you from Tehran, Iran. As you might know, I'm out here by Rachel Corrie Street, would you believe? Internet amigos, yes, I'm in a different location. I was up at 4 a.m. I think the witchcraft coven over there in Texas was in full swing, but thank you for getting me up early, ladies. It'll be professional, don't worry, I won't scream too much, but let's talk about Iran and Saudi. Speaking about getting money out of people, do you like the hit job MBS and Saudi just did? I mean, it's just a blatant hit job payoff. Trump, I mean, that plane, that aircraft, that's going to be for like Air Force One. You know that's Trump's. He's going to take that. He's going to walk with that aircraft. You watch. Anyway, it cost about $500 billion for that hit. That's 3 B-2s. Let's talk. Let's get a little bit of background from good old Fox. Okay, now I don't want to make light of what's going on. However, it's just the brazenness which makes me laugh. It's so brazen. This is a Saudi Arabian hit on their arch enemy. Here's what no one talks about. I'm sure the Arabs know all about it and the Iranians know all about it, but just the dumb Westerners know nothing about this. You will not understand. This is why Louis, my Iraqi friend, used to laugh at me and say, hey, come, I'm over, I'm going to go to Iran. Come over. And he's just laughing, nah, bro. And he said, you go over there, bro. Enjoy. They're going to treat you like a panda bear. You're going to have beautiful chicken rice with saffron. You deserve it. Just relax. And he'd start laughing. And I thought, why is he like that? I just didn't realize the hatred for Arabs in Iran and the hatred for Iranians in the Arab world. Once you understand that, and there was only one man who tried to heal that, that was Dr. Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. That's why they went after him like you wouldn't believe. Because he's smart, and he would do a deal with the US. He's not stupid. In fact, he would be the best man to do the deal with. Everyone calls him a hardliner. I'll tell you what Dr. Mahmoud Ahmadinejad is. He's a realist, and he's smart. He knows the demographics. He knows the future.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I'm excited to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, is the messenger of love, forgiveness, and peace. Unfortunately, due to the behavior of certain politicians and world powers, society is filled with injustice, poverty, inequality, and prejudice. A popular request is that all political, religious, and academic leaders should accompany the people in attempting to make a humane world for current and future generations.
Anyway, regardless, I can't tell you if they're going to I don't think they're going to bring down the regime. They've got their little Chatham House reformer in there. I've forgotten his name. He's just another Rouhani, which is just, they strip their clothes off and they're all playing with little boys over there in Switzerland when they go to play with their Swiss bank accounts. As you can tell, Iran is absolutely godforsakenly useless. Would I want to take Iran on face-to-face in the IRGC? No, they make Hezbollah look like Boy Scouts. You do not want to go toe-to-toe with the IRGC in a fair fight anyway. So, a lot of noise here, fancy that. But I love the background. So anyway, there's not going to be any invasion, and listening to the half-wits going on about World War III, Tucker Carlson, World War III, bark, bark, by gold, by silver, World War III, bark. It's so depressing. I just think, does anyone there have an ounce of decency to tell the truth? An ounce? Anyway, let's watch a bit of this Fox News crap.
This is a Fox News alert. News from the President of the United States that there has been an attack inside Iran. Just moments ago, President Donald Trump putting out on Truth Social, we have completed our very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. Again, this from President Donald Trump. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordo. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this.
Correct.
Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Again, that's just seconds ago from President Donald Trump on Truth Social, suggesting that those B-2 bombers that perhaps were on the way may have been behind this. We'll get more details on these 3 sites that the president said has been attacked inside Iran. This comes after days of negotiations to try to get Iran to the negotiating table. The president.
We don't need to hear anymore. Let me tell you what's going on. Let's get this up. Let's get this. I'll show you what's going on. You know how much I love to draw on the screen. Here is a perfect example. We have recalcitrant dickhead 1, and there's recalcitrant generic dickhead actor 2. And that's just the new one, which is the Chatham House boys. All right, they're always over there in Switzerland. They're always over there, the Bank of International Settlements. And they want a dialectic. So you're going to have Israel there, and you're going to have the Persian Empire here. How do I know this? I was 3 months in Iran. If you didn't know, that doesn't make me an expert on Iran. The Iranians have a terribly bad habit of annoying Israel and the political Zionist movement in general, of naming their streets after Western-type folks who actually get out there and sacrifice something. There's also Bobby Sands Street, the Irish activist who I remember growing up doing hunger strikes in the prisons in England, and they also have named a street after him. Rachel Corrie, of course, 23 years old, was killed by an Israeli Defense Force bulldozer in Rafah. I do believe it was in Gaza, Palestine, in March of 2003. Her death was a turning point. There were 2 other deaths. Tom Herndl, a British activist, shot through the head. A BBC journalist was shot through the neck. And at that time, there was really a sea change in the attitudes, and Irish television did an excellent documentary you must watch called Gaza, the Killing Zone. But I will tell you what I did see, and you will see in 5 minutes, that the Iranians hate the mullahs, they hate Arabs, they hate Islam, and 70% of them want to party, take drugs, and screw everything to moves. Now that is not to say that there is not a... So we have always a dialectic. Remember, when you're a international banking cartel or otherwise a bunch of US elites taking over the international banking cartel, you've always got to have a dialectic. When I say always, I mean always. And that's it. I was in Iran for 3 months. I was with the Persian Gulf Studies Center. Who are they? Mr. Parsipal, our government analysts. That's like CIA. Very nice people. I finally got it out of the lawyer. I said, so who pays for their bills? Oh, he's this and he's trying to do this and that's really hard to get money. I said, yeah. And I knew he was bullshitting. I said, but how do they get money? And finally he said, they're government analysts. Know what he said? He said, they work for the government. I said, so they're government analysts, like the CIA. He went, yes. He just went, yes. David T. Lashkari, Homayun T. Lashkari, over there in Atlanta, Georgia. His family were friends with the Shah and also the President Rafsanjani. That's who I was staying with. They were all friends with Zarif. So, listen to what I say. When he was trying to explain me what was going to happen, I was going to teach them English. They were going to teach me Farsi. And we walked around the streets of Iran. And I just said, look, I don't mean, but it's childish. Some of the posters you have are childish. It's embarrassing. It's stupid. It doesn't even make sense. And they all said, we know. It's going to change. I said, good. And I thought, wow, I'm going to be a part of this. This is pretty cool. Little old Brendon is going to be a part of this. Rock and roll. So I'm saying things like, you know what you got to do with your Iranian Republican Guard? You got to humanize them. Stop with these stupid, street marches and big dick missile crap and goose stepping and freaking Hitler saluting a Hezbollah, and start dressing exactly like American soldiers. Get M4s, try and find M4s and have your elite guard march around with that. Show them with their families, show them as human beings, show them with his wife throwing him out of the house, because literally in all of Islam, whether Shia or Sunni, the women run, when I say the women run the house, which I always find funny, you do realize that Muslim women have like 10 times more rights than a Western woman. I don't think, you might want to read their Quran. Now, hopefully they follow it, but I'm telling you right now, the woman rules the house. I mean, she rules that house. She owns that house. The husband is a visitor to the house. So show that whole aspect. So we were talking about, to leave. Do you realize the opportunity I had? The boy from the bush, knowing grew up Western Australia. I can't do this. The weird drug-taking freaking closet homosexual lawyer. I love Mr. Parsipal and those guys. They were good guys. But all they talked about all day was Saudi. All day. They're Saudi, they want to rename the Persian Gulf, the Arabian Gulf. And I just went, yes. Let's talk about Israel. Let's talk about the high technology, let's have a conference. And in the end, I had to leave because of the drug taking and weirdness of the lawyer. I had to leave. I just, when's something going to work? Julian, it's very cool in London, very cool. So when your London is finished, and God willing for you, Donald Trump gives you a pardon and the dogs, the Zionist dogs are called off, that you will maybe make your way south, down under, not down under, but down under to Tehran, modern, cosmopolitan, traditional, bustling metropolis, IT galore, beautiful ladies, real ladies. What are you doing? Hopefully we'll see you down here soon. Ciao for now. Hold the hotels. Anyway, God's in control. So here I sit. So I'm trying to give you some context. This was 2016, 2017. So that map is what it's about. That's why they can't take down Iran completely. I don't believe they are. I guess it could happen, but I don't believe they are. Because the Iranians are actually pretty anti-American, the average Iranian. Very anti-American. They love Europe. The Iranians adore Europe. When I say adore, I mean worship Europa. They worship Germany. I mean, I'm not trying to exaggerate. They adore everything German. Everything. Once you understand these things, you start to understand the Ayatollah Khomeini coming out of Paris, France, out of a commune, a literal commune. Okay? It's all this communist movement. Remember, it's bankers. It's witchcraft. It's death. It's Illuminized masonry. Please understand that. That's why they built the Parliament building as a pyramid with 33 windows in it. Hello? Staring you in the face. Just like, 5-star hotels in Qatar filled with terrorists who killed 1,400 Israelis recently, and they're living in NATO, Turkey and Egypt. And, you know what I mean? It's staring you in the face. They don't even try to hide it. It's like finding Muhammad Atta's passport in the rubble. You know what I mean? So let's stop with the bullshit, shall we? That's the plan right there. Right here is the plan. See, over here, all the stands. The lawyer said, look, this is big. We'll be handling the stands, blah, blah, blah. No, it's the Belt and Road. Oh, my God, it's the Belt and Road. It all made sense from that point on. And that's what they're building. Persian Empire to handle all the stands. This area, it's geopolitics. And, of course, Greater Israel will be in the bunting cloverleaf map. And what you're going to see is, oh, yes, you can see Brendon's getting his jollies right now, doing right on the screen. I freaking love Samsung S10. It's just a fucking amazing. Just wish it had the power of the M4 iPad chip. That's the bunting cloverleaf map. So all that data, that's where all the data cables, the fiber optic cables, Google's building the cable in there, and all that data is going to run down here into Africa. That will be the number one place for data. It's like the new oil. The number one place for data will be Israel. That's why they're going to move in. They're dismantling the Islamic terror network. That's why I don't believe they will be able to take down Iran completely. They're going to leave it there. Because why are they going to leave Iran there? Because they need this dialectic. They've got to keep the Arab populations under control. All right? The Arabs are terrified of the hadith from the Quran, which says 70,000 Jews from Isfahan. I do not like the hadiths, but they're pretty freaky because the hadiths also say that when the barefoots, the sheep herders, are competing over who's got the tallest building, you'll know that Armageddon's here, Mahdi army, the Dajjal, and the final battle. Pretty freaky. A Muslim friend told me that. I said, oh, bullshit, he's not. Go look it up, he said. I went, holy shit. See, there is nothing wrong with the Quran. The Quran is not, I really like it. Really like it. But the hadiths, I do not know. They were separate books written later. It's a little like what we would call it, the Talmud, in my opinion. Not that I want to offend anyone, but the Talmud, I don't like it. I don't like it a lot. It's different. It's completely different tone. It's completely different. So anyway, that's what they're moving towards. Now, there's one thing that might be going to scuttle a lot. And right here in Israel is a little place called Gaza. The first positive sign from all this misery and carnage will be the US Marines landing in Gaza and building a giant data center in there. And I believe they will ultimately annex the entire state of Israel. The Arabs will rejoice. There needs to be a lot of apologies. And when I say apologies, I mean fucking apologies. It's going to have to be reconciliation. It's going to have to be hundreds of billions of dollars moved in there. And, Trump's feather in his nest on the way out. I wonder if he's going to last this year. I really do. There's something up. I see Fred Smith died today at FedEx. Thanks, Fred. But he didn't look that well anyway. All right, that's enough. That's what's going on, all right? Nothing can touch the US military. Watching the clown show online. Bark, World War III, bark, oh my God, they're attacking Iran. Oh my God, it's just so pathetic. Nothing can touch the US military. Nothing. 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 Nothing can stand in its way. Nothing. Oh, they're scared. Maybe Hezbollah will be in the borders of America. Yeah, probably. Yeah, they come across in Professor Joaquim Barrett University, his dacha in Cuba, and then they land on the beaches down near Cancun. And then up they go to the border, probably. But, so what? US elites are happy. Awesome. More police state powers. They'll be going, hey, where the hell's Hezbollah? Blow something up for us, please. You see, there's no problem here. Everything's working perfectly. And the AI is racing along, racing at full speed. And everyone's bark around World War III. These people are evil. That Cenk piece of shit, they're evil. They're evil. All the left wing, the right wing, Takaka, they're all full of shit. They are Piers Morgan, making millions from the blood of the Arabs and now the Iranians. Millions of dollars. Bark, World War III, buy gold and silver. Bark, buy my swag. It's disgusting. It is despicable. In fact, Bibi looks more decent and in more integrity than this filth reporting. This is reporting? Look at what I bring you with just a few people effing around on Patreon, sending links to each other. Look at the different narrative. And it's in your face. It's on freaking Google. Do you have Google alerts? I mean, I don't hardly look now. It's like I'm just going to keep repeating myself till I get bored of it. Anyway, this is the reshaping of the Middle East. We hope for the benefit of the United States and an engaged, informed and educated citizenry on their rights and responsibilities to do with the greatest political document ever. That remains to be seen, isn't it? That's the big question. So don't blame the Jews, America. That's why I want all the power in your hands. I want the Bank of International Settlements in the United States, in Washington, D.C., or wherever they put it. Atlanta, Georgia, somewhere in the middle, next to some Masonic monument. I want you to have all the power, America. I want it completely centralized in your hands, and then I don't want to hear the fucking Jews again. You're not blaming the Jews anymore. You have all the power. What are you going to do, Goy? What are you going to do? Well, what are you going to do? Like and subscribe? Buy my swag and merch? What are you going to do? I love it. I can't wait till the old excuse of the Jews is gone. What do you do with the ring of power? Waspies? What are we going to do? What are we going to do with the ring of power? Oh, what an interesting time we live in. What an interesting time. I'm glad the coffee's strong. All right, ladies and gentlemen, lots of great things happening. I hope to catch up with Mary and even Dawn and perhaps Lee in the not too distant future. We will see. In the future, I want to do stuff on the history of like New Age movements and KGB, Cuban DGI. Ana Montes, do you remember her, the Defense Intelligence Agency woman that was recruited by an Argentinian Marxist in Spain? I want to show you the links between Sweden and Mexico. Very interesting. The Swedes, and how the Swedish Wallenbergs and the royal family protect political dissidents, meaning if your crime is related to espionage, you can't be deported, you can't be extradited from Sweden. I didn't know that. So Ana Montes, her handler, who recruited her to the cause, because Stalin was off. See, Stalin was bad. The Soviet Union was evil. So they got to go with the Yankee imperialists, the feisty Latino rebellion, Che Guevara, to Yankee imperialism. And that's how they got good old Ana Montes, who at least was sincere. I believe she was sincerely disgusted with what was going on, and rightfully so. But that's Kissinger, baby. That's the Council on Foreign Relations, Anna, and she's down in Costa Rica somewhere, I heard. She got out of jail last year, I think, after 20 years. She was lucky she just got that. She's lucky. That's all she served. But she was sincere. She was disgusted with what was going on. So I respect her. But, a lot of people died, but I guess a lot of people died anyway, just different people. Okie dokie. So, with all this in mind, Ana Montes, there's these linkages with Cuba and, of course, KGB, but also it's a hotbed of intrigue and activity, witchcraft, witches' covens, they use a lot of it. Hillary Clinton's into all this stuff. It's Illuminized masonry, that's what it is. And all the women are getting together, casting spells. It's not a joke, all right? I knew it was there, I didn't take it that seriously. It's fucking real. It's absolute, and it's filled all through Mexico, Central and South America. Filled with it. Cuba's a hotbed. So if you went there in 1991, at 19, that makes me interested. But who knows? I mean, I've got every right to be paranoid. Doesn't mean I'm right, but I've got every right to be paranoid. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have to say about Iran. Just watch it unfold. Hezbollah was going to destroy Israel, Hamas, Iran was going to help. They did shit. They never do shit. It should be completely obvious to all the talking heads what absolute driveling shit has been coming out of the mouths of the online commentators. The end of the Zionist experiment. No, Israel will be becoming Greater Israel soon. Whether they'll call it the Federated States of Greater Israel or something else, or it takes 20 years, some form of bloc will be formed there, because that's always the way it works. The only question I have is who will be controlling it? We still have the problem with critical infrastructure. We're all working on it. We're all doing stuff. It's all very interesting. I hold out some hope, but if you don't keep the pressure on in every way you can, I promise you it's not going to end well. There must be an engaged citizenry pushing from the bottom to give the confidence of the intelligence people, the FBI and all the rest in the military to take on their superiors, because their superiors are the ones who are blocking the analysts and the lower echelons from getting their job done. That's the problem. There's a lot of people to round up. I guess the greatest espionage case in history perhaps would demand the greatest counterintelligence operation in history. Who knows how things are going to unfold. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you, and may God protect the innocent people who are always freaking dying for these bastards right there. Let's talk again soon. F. Scott Fitzgerald, quote, "The test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposing ideas in the mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function. One should, for example, be able to see that things are hopeless and yet be determined to make them otherwise. This philosophy fitted on to my early adult life when I saw the improbable, the implausible, often the impossible, come true."
What is our common bond truly? Freedom. Freedom. Without freedom, you can't be a Christian no matter what denomination you belong to. You can't be a Buddhist. You can't own a donut shop. You can't drive from here to Oregon. You can't be an American, because that's what it's all about, and it's the only thing that it's all about, nothing else. Nothing else. It's about freedom.